This is my match reaction to Arsenal 2, Athletic Club 0. So, that first half was what you could say a bit shaky. Declan Rice got put on a yellow card from the 6th minute, but thankfully somehow he actually lasted the whole game. I thought he'd get sent off, but he done very well. But if we're looking at the game on the whole in that first half, there wasn't too much to really talk about. The one chance I can sort of remember was Madueke pulling it back for Eze, and Eze just was stuck on his heels and weren't able to get a shot off. The defender got in front of him and he committed a foul. Gyökeres got in behind. I don't know if that was the first or the second half actually, and he was taking poor touches, so we weren't able to really get a proper shot off goal to test on the goalkeeper. But the first half on the whole, you could see we were lacking that creativity in midfield, that Brexit midfield three, if you want to call it that, just doesn't seem to work. It doesn't really seem to work, especially against teams that you would consider lesser opposition. You don't really want to see us being so negative. But we came out in the second half and the pattern sort of continued. It sort of did continue. It weren't until Arteta decided to make subs on the 70th minute. Martinelli and Leandro Trossard, they both came on, and within about 30 seconds they linked up. Trossard played it into Martinelli, and Martinelli took a second touch away from the defender, and he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And as we saw against Real Madrid, he put it away. He put that nicely away. And Arsenal fans were once again singing Gabriel Martinelli's name. And then, to seal things off, we had Martinelli beating his man, playing Leandro Trossard in, pulling it back for him, and Leandro Trossard keeping composed to tuck it away. Arsenal got the W quite easily, and we're very, very happy. It's the first game, so you gotta just get the win at all costs. You can't be too picky. Obviously, you can look at certain aspects moving forward, but on the whole, the general sentiment, everyone's got to be happy. First game, first win. Next game will be at home, and I expect us to get the W, whoever that's against, whether it's Atletico, Bayern. I'm expecting us to win every single one of our home games in the Champions League, which will put us in good stead moving forward to qualify in the first top 8. So we'll go into my 5 takeaways in this from the game. The first takeaway has got to be the substitutes, Martinelli and Trossard. They're probably both a bit out of joint. They're seeing Eze, Madueke, new signings come in, they're on the bench. But they reacted perfectly. That's the way to react. You don't sulk. When both of them scored, I could see when Martinelli scored, there was like relief. Like, get that monkey off my back. Fans have been on me because I'm sure he's seen on social media that most of us don't really want him at Arsenal Football Club much longer. But if he continues to put performances like that, come off the bench when we need a goal, especially against high lines, then I don't think people are going to be complaining about Martinelli. And it doesn't do much harm for his value. So I'm very, very pleased with their application and their professionalism, because that game, if we're being honest, it looked like it was going to end 0-0. We couldn't really see where the goal was coming from. Gyökeres come off for Trossard, and then Martinelli come on for Eze. So you couldn't really see where that goal was coming from. Actually, I think, yeah, Trossard did come on first because Gyökeres had the head injury. So I feel like he was being protected, and you won't say he was having the best of games because he had quite a few chances in that game. He had a header that he pulled wide, poor from him, and he had another header that he diving header that he missed. That was all before Gabriel headbutted him, as well as the chance where he could have done better when he was in on goal, and it was just a bit like clunky touches that took the chance away from him. But Trossard as well, that's what I like to see. I actually see him smiling when he scored the goal. He done his celebration. We've seen previously when he's on the bench, he comes on, scores the goal and looks angry. But that's what I like to see. I like to see that type of camaraderie with the team. And they done the job. Other forwards could take lessons from Leandro Trossard and Martinelli. So the second takeaway, that's gonna be Bukayo Saka. You're probably thinking, why would it be Bukayo Saka? Because in this game, it highlighted how much we miss Bukayo Saka. And I say Bukayo Saka because I don't necessarily want to shit on Noni Madueke, but from what I saw, all the play was going down our right hand side, the majority of the play. And I don't even feel like the defenders were doubling up on Noni Madueke. I feel like they sort of know he's got a bit of poor end product. The one time he put something decent into the box was when Eze was on his toes. But apart from that, there was a lot of poor end product. There was another one where instead of going with his right foot to try to put it on the plate, just like Eze did for Gyökeres, he went with his left foot, the outside of his foot, and it forced the goalie into making a save, but you saw it was a missed kick. He weren't confident to use his right foot, and that's where he's gonna need to learn. He will learn that from Saka, because we've seen Saka, his right foot, we see what he does on his right foot, boom, slaps it top corner, and he's not scared to put a cross in with his right foot. So that's what I took from this game. Bukayo Saka will be deeply missed if he continues getting injury, because I don't know long term how consistent Noni Madueke can be, and is he going to get us the output? It's 5 games now, no goals, no assists. Sooner or later, he's going to need to start adding the goals and assists to his game, because it's all good taking on your man, looking good on the ball, but sooner or later you're going to need to get the end product. Like I said, the pullback for Eze, that was good. He should have got an assist. Eze was on his toes, but still, that was one. There was at least 10 opportunities. 1v1, not getting past your man, not beating the first man with a cross. But I'm sure it's early days. You will get better, Noni Madueke. The third takeaway, it's got to be that sort of Brexit midfield. The Rice, Zubimendi and Merino. I don't think Rice and Merino should ever be playing together. Unless maybe it's Rice in the 6 and Merino in the 8. But the number 10 slash right hand side of midfield, the right 8, that should be reserved for someone like Ethan Nwaneri, Martin Odegaard, and Eze. Those 3 need to be vying for that spot when Odegaard is not available. Because I'm looking at this game and you could just see we're missing a creative spark in that middle. Everything was going out wide. Everything was going out wide, whether it be to Eze, not so much, or Madueke. And that's alright if you've got Saka. This game would have been perfect for Saka. If Saka was there, he would have probably got 2 goals and maybe 1 assist for Gyökeres. I don't have no doubt in that, because they weren't really doubling up on Madueke. Maybe they would have doubled up on Saka, but I don't even feel like they were respecting the wide players that much. So these type of games, they need that creative spark in the middle. Against Liverpool, same thing. You can pack out the midfield with 3 sort of combative midfielders, because Zubimendi, he's combative as well. He gets stuck in. But over a 38 game season, in the big moments, we're going to have to not compromise our principles. We're going to have to say, you know what? We're the A side. I was saying it through the game. Luis Enrique, Pep Guardiola, Slot, I don't see them compromising their principles against Athletic Bilbao. Wirtz is going to start. Worst case, it's a Szoboszlai. He might even play, I don't know, Ekatike. Something like that. He's not going to be thinking, oh, I'm away from home against Athletic Club. Pep, even they're not going to be thinking like that. So that's what I'd like to see more. It's all right, maybe Inter Milan away, cool. I'm not necessarily going to be as angry, just like against Liverpool. I didn't really say much because it's Anfield, a certain type of opposition, but Arteta, he needs to stop doing this and have more faith in Ethan. And if I'm Ethan, I'm looking at this like, maybe my time at Arsenal with Arteta as the manager may have to be cut short, because he doesn't seem to have faith in me. Because I know if Odegaard was fit, Odegaard would play. Wanyeri's meant to be the replacement. We saw against Forest, when Odegaard went down, boom, Wanyeri come on. So let's just have more faith in Ethan. We're not going to know if he can handle certain occasions if he don't get the nod. If you don't get the nod for these type of games, we're never going to know if he can handle it. And I don't want to see that, not much more from Arteta. He needs to grow some balls. He needs to stop being a coward, because that's my big criticism of him. Being a coward, late subs. We got away with it today, but we are not always going to be able to get away with it. My 4th takeaway. So we've seen that defense. The defense still is 5 games into the season, 4 in the league, and now 1 in the Champions League. We're yet to concede from open play, whether that be Mosquera, Gabriel, Saliba, and I'm sure Hincapié will also lock up forwards once he comes into that centre defence. He played as a left back, but I'm sure he's more going to be used as a Gabriel left centre back replacement. But you never know. Who knows? Calafiori might get moved inside, which I don't think, but because we did see him used as a left back, but still, that defense looks rock solid. Rock solid. You ain't going to get much change from this defense, and this sort of reminds me of the defense from the 2006 campaign, because I believe Arsenal in the knockout stages, we did not concede a single goal until the final, until around the 80th minute in the final. So that, I believe, is a record in the knockout stages. This defense, they look like, I'm not going to say that they can do that, but if Arsenal are to get to the final and 1 step further, that will probably be a main reason for it, because in the Champions League is a bit different to the Premier League. The Premier League, you're going to need to be a lot more attacking. Mikel Arteta is going to need to be, because teams, they can just get goals from any type of, anywhere. Any type of team, you might need 2 goals There's not going to be as many 1-0s. In the Champions League, the games are a bit more tighter. And you see more 1-0s, more 0-0s. So this defense, if we are to go one step further in the Champions League, it's going to be the Gabriel Saliba Mascara. Who knows? Some games, we might even play a three at the back. You might even see it. Because imagine Saliba, Gabriel, and a Mascara as a back three. There's no getting past them. It's a myth. It's a long day at the office. Such a long day. But yeah, big up to the defense and big up to Mosquera, made his Champions League debut. Norgard made his Champions League debut. Eze made his Champions League debut. So big up to those guys. The fifth takeaway. So we saw quite a lot of teams play. We ain't through the first match day, but just judging from the matches on the Tuesday, Arsenal look in the best shape. They look in the best condition to go the furthest out of those teams. Real Madrid, Juventus, Benfica, Tottenham, Villarreal. Those are some of the teams that played. I'll say, from what I saw, Real Madrid, they got away with one. Dubious penalty. But they're very, very vulnerable at the back. Arsenal, on the other hand, we know in the Champions League, yes, you can kind of have a shootout, which we saw Real Madrid do. But in the final, they won 1-0 against Liverpool. Courtois come up big. So, you know you either need a solid defense or a world-class goalkeeper. Donnarumma was that last year, but we saw PSG just attacked in that final 5-0 victors. So, from what I've seen so far, we look the strongest out of the teams that's played. Of course, we're going to see the Liverpools, the Barcelonas in the coming days. You can't really rule out Manchester City, but at this moment in time, I would say we look the strongest out of the teams that's played so far. We already beat Real Madrid last season. So if we come across them, you wouldn't necessarily feel too worried. If it's a final, of course, because heritage plays a part. But over two legs, we won't be scared of your Real Madrid. You won't be scared of a Tottenham. So yeah, people, man, it's kind of positive, quite positive for me today. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Catch me on the next one, people. I'm out. Bless.